saw some sort of fade effect happening from the intro to the regular show. I'm not sure what it could fade from.
Faded, bro?
Oh, I'm getting, dude. I'm so fucking faded, dude.
Whoa, dude. Oh my god,
dude. Wow. Yeah, interesting. I'm gonna have to take. I need to. You know what I need to do is I need to rebuild the entire DrawBomb OBS setup from.
Build it from the bomb up.
I need to build it from the bomb up. Because I feel like I could make it less confusing to kind of upkeep.
I mean, you took what I created, and you know, my original thing could have definitely been streamlined more.
It's all about the more streamlined your setup is, just the easier your life is going to be. And there have been so many improvements to streaming technology in the last year.
The future's now.
The future's here, bro. Welcome to DrawBomb, folks. Welcome. It's a show where tagline.
This is your turn. I tried last time and nailed it.
That was it. No, I just did.
Oh, just. Okay, I see what you're doing. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I follow.
Yeah. My name's Ian. This is Brandon, and we host DrawBomb.
Hi. How are you?
Welcome. Hi.
It's good to be back.
It's good to be back. It's another week. It's another DrawBizzle.
Great to be here.
Great to be here.
Wait for Mondays. Great to be here. Lizeze says, saying hi from the horse barn. Wow. You have... You let your horse watch Twitch? That's crazy.
Wow, I didn't know horses liked us.
Yeah, you know, I've kind of pulled some farm animals to see what they think of our show, but I get a lot of nays. Oh, jeez.
Well,
because horses, they say nay.
Oh, okay. I didn't know where you were going with that. I was so
like, even
confused.
if they were saying, even if they were giving like a compliment or like a good review, it would still come out as a nay, which is in turn the joke.
I was, if it didn't look like I was laughing, it's because I was confused about the joke and not because I didn't think it was funny. I just didn't.
I assumed it was just like a latency issue. I'm sure.
Yeah.
If it weren't for the internet, you would have laughed heartily.
Once I had understood it, I would have. Wait, hold on. I feel it coming. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Ah. Yeah, there it is. That was me getting it, and
was that laughter?
that was my delayed laugh.
Are you a lizard person? Is that how you laugh?
It was coming to me in waves. It was coming to me in waves.
What a tough break if that's what you do when you feel joy. Like that's just a rough. God has betrayed you if that's what you do when you feel joy. Well. Anyways, thanks for watching DrawBomb this week. Thanks everyone for being here. We got Lizeze, we had Leviathan done.
It's a good time. See you all later. Have a good night. Bye bye. DrawBomb is recording the 8th. Yeah, welcome. It's another week. It's another show. It's another episode of us doing shit like you just saw. Just really confusing bits is maybe our primary export here.
Yeah, there's no, these aren't tried or true methods. We're just throwing things at the wall to see if anything sticks.
Yeah. I don't even know if I'm looking to see if they stick. I'm just throwing them at the wall, hoping that the wall eventually falls over.
Get this away from me.
Yeah. So, what can I say? What a wonderful experience it is to have you all here in front of us like this. Brandon.
Yes,
truly,
Ian.
Your life is a whirlwind of happenings.
Yeah, totally.
Regale us.
Oh, you want me to tell you about them?
Tell us about your week.
Oh gosh. Okay, so let's see. What happened to me this week?
Hold on, wait. One more wave of getting that joke is coming in. Ah! Okay, sorry, go ahead.
I really regret making that joke now.
You just have to, if it's so confusing, it's just taking me a while to pick up on all the nuance.
It's been a pretty, much happened. It's been chickadee China. Anyways, not that exciting of a week. I've just been working a lot, which is, gosh, so exciting to hear about, I'm sure. Did anything interesting happen to me? That's the question. Boy.
Guess not.
It's been 1 week since we did the show.
Yeah.
What have you been up to?
Oh, Jesus. Fucking not a lot, in all honesty.
That makes
Nothing changes here. If anyone watches this show, in the last 3 years, it's just been like, hey, what did you... Fucking nothing. I haven't left the house.
What are you doing? Nothing. Me neither.
No.
Cool.
I'm living like it's still a pandemic.
I mean, it is still, right?
It is true. It's not like
Or we just...
It hasn't gone away.
I mean, the president said it was over, so...
Yeah, everyone's acting like it's over. It's pretty much... The world has pretty much decided, like, whatever.
Zay says, Willow approves of DrawBomb 100%. So there you go. We have our first review from a horse, and
there you go.
It seems positive.
DrawBomb, 100% horse approved.
Do 1 hoof stomp if you think we're entertaining, 2 hoof stomps if you would prefer us to stop streaming.
3 hoof stomps if you are under duress and need to be rescued. Yeah, it's banned.
Oh boy. Ian, what have you ever hung out with horses or ever been a horse adjacent? What do you know about horses?
I have an uncle who is no longer with us, who owned horses, and I've got a grandfather who was paralyzed by a horse.
Oh God. All right. Well, I hate that I brought this up.
I'm sorry. Those are the only 2 horse related people. The uncle who passed away, it's not that he didn't pass away by anything horse related. He just
enjoyed them when
he just had horses when he was with us, and no longer is he.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. I don't have a lot of experience with horses myself.
Neither do I.
My wife, she had a horse growing up. The horse is still around, but does not live with us. Because we don't have a lot of rentals these days just don't come with stables. The horse lives at her mom's house, but I don't know much about horses, but they're big and they intimidate me.
Yeah. I'll be honest, horses, I can take them or leave them. You know?
The country was built on their back, Ian. How could you say such a thing?
Hey, look, that's fine. But like in my life, horses, I can take them or leave them.
They seem cool, but every time I'm near one, they have a giant mouth and they're just staring me down the barrel of that giant horse mouth.
I've fed a horse a sugar cube or 2.
Sure.
You know? You know.
They seem pretty chill, but
they seem fine.
I guess horses haven't affected my life personally in any way.
Yeah, that's really what I'm saying is horses have not been too much aside from
they're a key player in my story.
Aside from the grandfather they paralyzed, you know, horses not too much being a part of my life.
I did not read over your notes before I asked the horse question. I really wish I would have.
It's okay. It's okay. What about you? What about your life and your relationship? I mean, you just said the same thing. You said that.
Yeah, no, I think we can move on.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not.
Neither of us are.
Let's never bring up horses ever again on this show.
They're off the table now.
Ian's ruined it. What games have you been playing? Have you been playing any games?
I have been. I've actually been playing, when I have a little bit of free time here and there, I've been playing the Zelda Link to the Past, the like SNES one.
Oh, isn't that the one where you have like a dad actually in the beginning of that one?
Yeah, you have a dad.
That's so rare in a Legend of Zelda game for your Link to like wake
yeah,
up
you don't have a dad that
parent.
often.
Yeah. A parent in general, it's very rare.
Yeah. You have a dad for a second, and then I haven't seen him since the beginning of the game.
Just like
I hope he's alright. Hope dad's okay wherever he is out there in
I'm
Hyrule.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
Probably.
Wait. You say your part again in face? You said you made a face too.
I did make a face too.
We were both doing a bit where we said, "Oh yeah, he's probably fine," and then I went like, "Nah, B," and then you made a grimace.
Yeah.
I was trying to get a close up of each of our faces. It's hard to do simultaneous.
Well, you know, you're not only, you know, hosting a show, but you're also doing the camera work. We need a third party.
We do. We need an engineer. Someone to man the booth.
But yeah, it's been fun so far. It's a good game. I'm not sure why Super Nintendo holds up so well. I think it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
2D had been like very like figured out by then. So and that's just kind of timeless.
It's kind of like a combination of 2D held up by then, and then they also had that like those extra bits to really like sort of make everything more visually appealing. You know, they had all those extra colors and they had all those extra sounds they could work with now. You know, they weren't just working with an NES chiptune. They could do some FM granular synthesis too in there. So, you know, I think but like also they had the NES to like work out all of these like 2D gameplay designs, and then these SNES like, ooh, hey, we have all that shit worked out from before, and we have all this extra horsepower. So it was like just a lovely combination of the two.
I think also like that's all true. Like they had a lot like going for them that they had like really put a lot of time into the past like few generations of gaming. But on top of that, like I think the reason that holds up compared to other retro games is like you try to play PlayStation 1 and they're still trying to figure out 3D at that point. So like a lot of it feels super like unwieldy because it wasn't tight. It wasn't all like tightened up like they were by the time they got to like SNES.
Right.
So like, you know, 2D they had figured it out, so it's just kind of like timeless now. Like it can be played forever, I think, without feeling super outdated or old.
Yeah, Super Mario World still so good.
You go try to play some old 3D and it's a little bit.
It's a little chunky.
You get lost. You get lost in the sauce.
It's a little chunky sometimes, those old PS1 games. And PS2 games, honestly. Some PS2 games are still chunky as fuck.
Totally.
Some PS3 games still chunky.
There's a certain point in time where you're like, okay, now this can be played forever. Like I don't care how good technology gets, this will be played forever. But there's also stuff like in the past where you're just like, no, that's gonna feel old and outdated.
Yeah, there's still bits of Psychonauts. I've been playing Psychonauts, folks, for the last 2 days on stream. And there are still there are segments of that game that feel chunky, just like old game, like, you know, sort of Growing Pains chunky. But then that game in general though is so fun and good and holds up very well, I think. And it's a game that
pretty good watching you play it.
Yeah, even if like the graphics are like a little ugly sometimes because of like textures being outdated and like these puke like sort of looking textures for like people's skin and stuff like that. Like the characters are also super stylized and like really pleasing to see. So it all works out still, I think. I think it's still it's a very fun game.
That was gonna be my next question, is how that was going, but I guess you just kind of answered that.
Yeah, I guess so. But I'm glad I could provide entertainment for you while you're working on stuff.
It's nice. It's funny, even while we were streaming on Twitch, there's a long period where I was just like, I don't use Twitch, like, at all, like, watch stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't see, it's not for me, I don't know. Even though I was trying to convince people to watch my Twitch content, I was not watching anyone else's.
Yeah.
But that's changed. I honestly, it's one of my main go-tos now when I'm just like messing around with stuff. I'll just like find some channels. Not so much watching on Twitch. Gaming sometimes, but it's mostly like, I don't know, either news-related stuff or some like, I don't know, weird niche things, or just like people hanging out.
Gotcha. That's interesting. My main go-to for entertainment, if I'm like chilling on the computer or working on something that I like to have some, if I'm looking for some side, like second screen content, you know, it's been, you know, YouTube. I just like keep up to date on my subscriptions, and I've been doing this thing where, like, you know, I get all the videos queued up in different tabs, then I pin the tabs, so if I like, you know, don't get all the videos watched and I gotta go off the computer, I can just close that window, and the next time I open up Firefox, all my tabs open right back up. Got them right there. I can continue watching everything I was gonna watch, and it's quite convenient.
A lot more YouTube I've been watching too, but I need more. I need to like subscribe to some more stuff. A lot of my YouTube is stuff I subscribed to like 10 years ago, and I'm not as interested anymore. That's like a lot of my subscriptions. So I need to go in and like revitalize that, clear out some stuff, add some new stuff.
For sure. Well, I can always give you a look-see at some.
You would be a person I would go to about that.
I mean, and a lot of stuff that I watch is like stuff that only appeals to me, and like some stuff that I wouldn't recommend to other people. But for the most part, yeah, I got some stuff I could show you. I got some videos you can watch.
You show me some stuff, bro.
Look at some stuff. They just released a new Red Letter Media Best of the Worst. This one's a spotlight, so they're like showing off a very particular.
Oh yeah, I
movie.
saw that, but I did not watch it yet.
Excited to see that. I love watching Red Letter Media. I watch a lot of D&D channels. Not like of channels of people playing D&D, but just like talking about it.
Oh, interesting. That's
the
opposite of what I would have expected.
Like a lot of channels of people being like, hey, here are some fun ways you can get people more engaged in your campaign. Number one, you know, like DMs advice, or just like advice on like how to make your game more fulfilling. Like there's a lot of or just like ways to like sort of kickstart ideas, just like sort of tips on more like advice on how to like get the most out of your game sort of channels.
Yeah.
Which is fun for me because it's not like watching somebody play a game, but like, you know, just give some banger advice, and you know, it's good to get that stuff. A lot of what I watch is very informative content on YouTube, but a lot of it's also for jokey jokes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube has a lot of stuff, so I think it's good to, you know, there's a lot of cool stuff you can watch on there besides sketches.
My tastes are very eclectic, so when YouTube like tries to recommend me shit on the algorithm, they're just like, fuck, I don't know, man, he likes Legal Eagle, what do we give him?
What is Legal Eagle? That's like he discusses like law.
Yeah, he discusses
bird law.
Bird law. He got very popular by doing real lawyer reacts to these courtroom scenes in TV shows, and he did like all the It's Always Sunny episodes that have courtroom scenes. He did like Liar Liar. But he just talks about like what he talks about a lot of the times when he's not like finding courtroom scenes to sort of react to is he like big cases like Sam Bankman-Fried going to jail and stuff like that. He kind of like talks about, you know, his perspective on it as a lawyer and sort of things like that. And yeah. So like when all the CoffeeZilla videos came out about Logan Paul, he did a video on like, you know, sort of how in legal trouble is Logan Paul currently and things like that. I think that's a video he did. I feel like that is.
I mean, if he didn't, he's missing out.
Yeah, for sure.
Something he should be doing.
He actually did a collaboration with CoffeeZilla at one point recently. Like he had CoffeeZilla on one of his videos. I think it was about Sam Bankman-Fried, because CoffeeZilla was like one of the people doing like investigations into like FTX and things like that, and like got Sam to like admit to fraud in like his phone call essentially. So when Sam Bankman-Fried finally did get arrested, he had I'm pretty sure Legal Eagle had CoffeeZilla on to discuss. But yeah, I like him. He's got some. He's an interesting character. He like the meta on YouTube is you're not gonna make money being monetized and like from the ads. Like getting monetized is good because it puts you in the algorithm, so like your shit's gonna get pushed out to people more by the site. But getting money on the YouTube ads isn't like where the real bank is. It's like from like your own sponsorships that you hawk in your own in-video ads. So like whenever Legal Eagle does a video, he usually has like this website where he's selling these pretty nice looking suits, because his suits in his videos are always like so nice. He wears really good suits, and he's always like, hey, like my suit? It's from this suit website. He also did a video when there's like a video, you know, that established titles website thing where they're like, hey, buy a plot of land, become a Scottish lord.
Yes.
Eventually somebody was like, yeah, that shit's a scam. That's not, none of that's real. You're just paying money for jack shit. And then,
really?
you know, yeah, cause like that's not a real, you can't just buy land and be a Scottish lord. It's like a different.
I gotta change my resume. Fuck. That's really, gotta take that off there.
You gotta take it off, man. You fucked up. But yeah, some guy came out with a video. I think his name is like No Ordinary Gamers or something like that. I don't watch his channel. It's very hard for me to get into new channels. I have to like thoroughly vet them, because like there's so many channels who you're like, oh, this is fun. This is like a normal person. And then you get like one channel in, or you get one video in, or you get like to a specific video, and then you're just like, oh no, what are you saying right now?
They're trying to sell me NFTs.
Yeah, shit like that. Or, oh no, they're talking about feminism being cancer. Oh god.
Oops.
Oopsies, gotta go. So, you know, it's hard for me to get into some channels. So I've heard good things about No Ordinary Gamers. He's the one who I think is the one who released the video saying, yeah, that established titles thing is a scam, it's not real. And so then after that video came out, Legal Eagle did a video discussing the actual legality of being a Scottish lord and stuff. If you know, kind of like, if he can find a legal angle from it, he will, you know?
Sure. Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a good, I feel like the law is designed to kind of keep the normal man from knowing what is going on. So it's kind of nice that there's channels like that.
It both is and it isn't, because also having the law be so complicated and like bureaucratic is a matter of just, you know, ironing out all the ironing everything like out.
A few hundred years of just like
precedent,
being like, oh fuck, what do we do in this situation?
Yeah.
And then they set down a precedent, and that's just the rule from then on.
Yeah, it's like so complicated, both because you know, it is a little bit designed to be obfuscating, but also because it's like a patchwork of precedent from like, yeah, hundreds of years. So that's, you know, fair. It's like a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. Unlike the tax code, where, you know, the reason that taxes are so complicated is because, you know, TurboTax and all those companies have a vested interest in keeping taxes complicated. Yeah. Or like the fact that we can't do like, what's it called? There's like.
But also, you go to jail if you mess it up.
You go to jail if you mess it up, and also the government knows like what you owe in taxes. Like the government could 100% have you
like send me a bill.
Yeah, the government doesn't have to have you do your taxes every year, but you do anyways because you have to. Then you can get TurboTax. Like there's been, I think like reports saying like yeah that's the case. I'm pretty sure I've read a news report.
Some bullshit.
Like yeah, that's the case, man. That's
I found it funny how if you ever make a mistake on your taxes that they owe you more money than they sent you, you'll never hear about it ever again. But if you ever make a mistake where you owe them money, they're on it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I will say I did my brother's taxes for him last year, and he got a couple $1,000s back, and he got that money. Yeah. So that's cool. But I mean, also,
I just did mine, and I've done them every year for a number of years, and I always get somewhere around there.
I'm pretty mad. The year before, 2021, I did my own taxes, and it was free software. Yay. 2022, I do my own taxes. The software is no longer free, and it's like $50.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck, you pricks? Like to get you. I have to pay you $50 to do my taxes. I didn't even want to do my taxes. I have to do this.
Yeah. Well, that's all of life. All the things I don't want to do, they force me to give away my money for.
Yeah. Hey, do you want to drive on this road?
Do you want to live in a house? Do you want to eat? You want to food? You need health insurance in case a bus hits you.
I mean, I'll pay for roads. I mean, if I'm driving on a road, I should pay for the roads. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But
a road seems mutually beneficial, but like paying to keep myself alive in case something bad happens. And then also like when something bad happens, I go in and they're like actively trying to not pay for it with everything I have. It's like, wait a minute, I'm confused. What's our relationship here? What are we doing?
Oh, we're just trying to take your money.
Or are you trying to help me? Why am I paying you? Your product is a scam, but also I need it. I don't.
Your product is a scam that the government's like, you have to have it. You gotta have that shit.
You're required to have it anymore. They don't fine you for not having it.
That's true, I know, but
if you
life in general,
if your appendix bursts, you don't want to be in debt for the rest of your life.
Yeah, like not the government requires you to have it, but life in general.
Cartel.
Life insurance, life in general requires you to still have insurance.
Yeah.
Or God help you.
Maybe one day I'll have good enough insurance that I can learn some new hobbies like snowboarding and stuff. Right now I'm like, fuck that. I'm not going, not putting myself in danger. My insurance is trash.
Yeah.
Like that looks fun, but nope, can't do it.
No, thank you. I'm okay.
I'm just gonna sit inside my house and hope a car doesn't drive through the wall, and then that's all.
Thank you very much, but no.
Remember that time a car almost drove through my wall during
I remember that. You would have had to pay insurance if that car hit you.
I'm sure I could sue somebody for that, right?
You probably could, yeah.
Car drives into my living room, but then you have to hope that that person has money to sue for.
Exactly.
What a wild.
Gosh, we really got to some really bright and cheery topics for our show. People
we always find our way there immediately. I don't know what it is about this show.
It's almost like this world
Why
is
don't people
a bummer.
watch it?
Why are we always talking about the world being a bummer? Why don't
I go to other like streams
show?
and I'm like try to like pick up on like what they're doing right that we're not doing, and then they're just like super like positive and like
not talking
like,
about the insurance industry.
It's like a feel good. It's like a feel good experience, and like everything they're saying makes you feel like you're part of a community, and you're like they're happy you're here, and we're all having a good time together. And then you come to our show, we're like, I guess we'll just die.
We're all gonna die. Yeah, we're a lovely crew.
Maybe we could get a sponsorship from some kind of like BetterHelp or some kind of like therapy thing.
Yeah,
we'll be sending business their way by people watching our show and then needing therapy. We depress them.
Hi, did you watch our show and want to end it all? Come to BetterHelp.
It'll help balance out the damage we've done in the last 2 hours.
They'll help keep the gloomies away.
I like when those commercials for like the medication for that kind of stuff is like, it's like a cartoon of like a cloud like raining on a person. It's like, this seems kind of like,
Yeah.
We're making this a little too simplified for like,
Hey,
very real problem for a lot of people.
isn't depression just like being a rain cloud with the gloomies, huh? You know what I mean?
It's like when a cartoon cloud rains on you.
It's like when the cartoon cloud is sad because it's so cloudy all day.
Ian, did you ever, since we're doing this drawing, were you ever a Tinder user?
You know,
I started go too deep into this conversation, but
I started using Tinder right at the beginning of 2022. 2020.
Bad.
The
At that point, it's like a walkie-talkie. It's just like people reaching out, like, "Hey, can't
are you still alive?"
Over there because of COVID.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Beginning at I was like, "Hey, maybe I'll finally reach out to people and try and hook up on this app." And then I do some messaging, sort of like learn that pretty much everyone on there is a bot, and then.
Is that the? When did you say what year? I'm sorry. At first
2020.
You said 2020, but I think you changed it. Oh, okay, 2020. Okay.
I said 2022 in the beginning, but I meant to say 2020.
Crazy Kyle says that's how Ian and I met. Wow. See,
so
sometimes
true.
It does. By the way, thanks for the subscription, Kyle. We appreciate you.
That's not Kyle lying at all.
You see, there's a success story.
That's right.
Kyle swiped right on you, and now you're the best of friends.
That's right. I set my category as just looking for friends.
No, that section's reserved for liars, right? Like, why are you on Tinder?
That's all the liars.
You're trying to manipulate the situation. Nah, I'm just a friend. You see?
Hold on, you're making the hands on this too skin-ish colored. We gotta make them
What
wacky.
color should they be?
Do something wacky, like.
All right, you tell me.
Like an orange or something
Red.
like that.
This person spent too long.
Or be a green.
Person has an open wound that is oozing green.
That's what it looks like right now. You know what? Let's make them a Mr. Me Seeks Blue. With no affiliation to that show. Man, how quickly the world turns.
It does. You know, hopefully the talented team of animators and writers can salvage something from it, because I feel bad about everybody losing their job because of one shithead.
Man, those text messages were a real bad look.
Yeah, that's game over.
That's Even if he gets proven innocent on the other charges, which I mean we don't know anything about those.
The other charges seem bad, and those seem small potatoes compared to everything else.
Yeah, those texts are real bad. Real, they're cringing beyond.
Ian, you made a Rick and Morty fan animation a couple years ago, right? As a big fan. Correct?
Do I feel responsible? Yes, in some ways I do.
That's like I have like Rick and Morty like merch around the house, and I'm like, do I get rid of this now? What do we do?
That's weird. I mean, look, the seasons of Rick and Morty I liked the most were the ones before he did all of this. So I'm just saying those are the best seasons. The show. No, it's a shame. It's a good show. I still think it's a good show. I haven't watched any episodes since Snake Jazz, but
Gotcha. I've been watching. I think I watched the newest season, and from what I understand, they've they've kind of gone to like Matt Groening level where they're not really, especially him. He's not really involved. He's just kind of like sending his voices in the mail.
I have to imagine that at a certain point, if you do a show and it becomes a raging success, and now everyone's pulling you every different way, trying to get you involved in their other projects because now your main project has popped off so much. I have to imagine that you start to either phone it in or you start having some ships run themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I don't know. Who knows? You know what?
Yeah.
He's even had to do with it, but regardless, you know, it's good to see. I guess like justice, you know, for victims and stuff like that.
That's the thing, is more than anything, you know, it's a bummer to be like, oh, this show sucks, or not this show sucks, oh, this show's sort of ruined a little bit, oh, this show's probably gonna go on the downhill, or the show has been on the, you know, whatever you say about the show. And it's the main thing is, I just want, if there are victims, I hope that we can get justice for them.
Exactly, yeah. It seems silly to be like, oh, the TV show, when there's like people out there that have been like affected by this. So it's like that's literally like the lowest important thing on the.
It's the lowest, in my opinion. The least important thing on the list is, oh, how's the TV show gonna do? Yeah. But at the same time, it's the one that we are most able to talk about. Sure. Because
it's the only thing that we're like, you know, are allowed to have real opinions on.
Yeah, because what we're gonna talk about, like the crime that supposedly got committed. Like, what are we gonna do to have a discussion on that? About like, do you think it happened? Do you think what do you think step by step happened when Justin Roiland kidnapped that person? Like, what do you think?
Right.
Like that. Yeah. So it's, you know, it's the least important aspect of it, of the whole situation, but it's really the only one that we can give any sort of analysis.
Ren and Stimpy continued to be a quality show even after they gave John K. the boot. So
true.
Who knows? True. Maybe Rick and Morty will also. You know, the only people I'm on the actual like, as far as the show is like, in order to make 2D animation, you need like a full.
You need a lot of people. Yeah.
It's just a bummer for them if they all lose their jobs.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I don't care about him.
Yeah. I don't care about the like, when we talk about the show, we don't say, like, we don't worry about the show for the sake of the show. We worry about the show for the sake of people on the show.
Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
Priorities. But yeah, we'll have to kind of see the whole. Kind of have to see. Kind of have to play the situation by ear. Wild and wacky, though, I gotta say. It's a wild and wacky situation.
Don't meet your heroes because they will kidnap you. I'm not saying he's my hero, but I'm just saying, like, every celebrity, it seems like, is a creepo. Congrats to the few celebrities that have like made it to their like 60s and haven't had a sex scandal, because apparently that's hard to do.
If you're a celebrity and you haven't been a sex pest, give yourself a pat on the back, because you're one of
wow,
the few.
Wow, you really did. You did it, man. You really did it.
Good job. You're one of the good ones.
You get an award.
Yeah. You're getting a trophy for not being a sex pest. 3 celebrities, apparently.
That'll be the next celebrity award ceremonies, where it's just celebrities giving celebrities awards like they already do, but it's just for like, wow, you're not a sex pest. Good job.
And now for the top celebrity who didn't kidnap me and put me in their basement. Wah, 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 wah.
Crazy Kyle says, "Put me in your basement, Daddy." Nah, sorry. There's no room down there. Sorry.
Yeah, we have some boxes.
We gotta move out.
Christmas just happened.
I said, me and you said on my side said box at the exact same moment.
Oh, on my end, I beat you to it by like a little bit, but it's counting. All right, so this drawing looks done, I think.
It does look done. What do you think about the profile caption?
I saw that and I really enjoyed it. I like how DrawBoy is as old as I am.
I wasn't sure what age to make this DrawBoy.
You should make it.
I tried to.
yeah, because we're both. Yeah, I was gonna say make it 32, like right between us, but you're 32.
I'm approaching 33, so 32 is.
It's sort of closer to between us, because I'm
closer
approaching
to
30.
the average.
I'm approaching 32.
You're going back? Oh. 30. I was impressed that you were able to go back in time.
I know. It's what we all dream of.
Teach me. To a certain point. At a certain point, I'd be like, no, stop, slow down. I don't want to go back any further. It sucked.
I'd stop at 30. 30 feels like a good place to stop.
I'm not upset about this age.
Being 25 is too young.
I was still too dumb back then.
I was an idiot.
Maybe physically, like, I felt more like good, but mentally and emotionally, dumb.
Dumb as shit at 25. I would say I was dumb as shit until I would say, again, and I say this every time. I would say I was until like yesterday, honestly, and like 2 years from now, I'll look back at like what I'm doing today, and I'll be like, what a fucking idiot.
That's a good thing. To everybody in the chat, if you look back at your like high school days or like your 20s, and you're like, fuck yeah, I was cool. That's a bad sign. You should look back at yourself and cringe, because that means you've grown.
Yeah.
If you look back and you're like, I was cool as hell. You're the only one who thinks so, probably.
You've regressed.
Sorry to break this news to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're cringing at your past self, that's usually a good sign.
The only high schooler who can look back at themselves in high school and say, damn, I was cool, is Josh Hartnett's character in The Faculty, because that dude was doing experiments in his garage and like chemistry.
Whoa. Wow.
And he was cool as shit.
Cool.
Yeah. Substep.
Wow. Subscription from Zone Dog as well. 19 months. Wow. Holy smokes. That's something. Thanks.
2 babies.
Thanks for subbing, Zone Dog.
That's 2 babies. Plus a month.
That is 2 babies.
2 babies with a month in between for the vagina to heal.
2 month-old baby. That's I don't know.
What a terrible.
That's the way we're gonna measure it.
Oh my god.
Hate that.
What a terrible thing for me to say in an excited fashion.
On this note,
what
should
an
we go to a small break?
Like serial killer thing to say. Yeah, fucking Christ. Goodbye.
I need to go
buddy.
Splash some water in my face and yell at myself in the mirror, like, why are you still doing the show?
I need to go stare in a mirror and slowly apply clown
Ian
makeup.
Newton, the best part of DrawBomb.
Oh, we return. Hello, welcome back.
Wow.
Whoa.
We returned.
Oh my god. It's us. We did it. We returned. I had an idea for a fun game we could play. I'm gonna look up NES sprites, and I'm going to just redraw certain characters from classic NES games, or maybe some obscure ones, and just sort of imagine them.
Take some sprites that leave a lot to the imagination, and then try to flesh them out a lot more.
Yeah. So let's try and think of a game for the NES. Castlevania. There's got to be all sorts of.
Castlevania's got to have some good ones.
Yeah. On there right now.
Look as well.
Castlevania 1. Simon Belmont. I mean, that's. I'm gonna start with Simon Belmont, I think, right?
That's who you're drawing?
Yeah.
Maybe we can just keep the theme going, and I'll look for Castlevania ones too.
All right.
Simon in the first one?
Simon's in the first one, yeah.
Okay. I haven't really played many Castlevanias. I might do that now that I have. I kind of just rigged up like an emulation. Very legally, by the way. Sign up an emulation. I ripped all the cartridges. I took NES cartridges and Super Nintendo cartridges, and I have a bunch of equipment that I use to rip ROMs from them in a very legal fashion.
All right, I'm just gonna.
So I've recently set up kind of like a emulation rig, and I've been playing some stuff. That's why I was playing Zelda, Link to the Past, because I never really fully played through it ever in my life.
Gotcha.
So yeah, there's some other characters from the first Castlevania. Do you play as Simon in the original?
Yeah, Simon Belmont's your
character. I know there's
character.
one later that's like named after Simon, right? Like 3 or something.
Something like that, yeah. But no, in Castlevania 1, you play as Simon.
Okay.
You are Simon.
What do you fight? Dracula? Should I draw him?
Yeah, you fight Dracula. That's also one of those games where you play as... One of those Castlevania games, you play as Alucard. Which is Dracula backwards.
Whoa.
And, also, Castlevania, one of the classic Castlevania games, has the so classic quote, "What's his man? A miserable pile of secrets. But enough talk. How about you?" Which is a classic quote.
I mean, he makes a good point.
He does. He's not wrong.
So I'm looking at bosses. Maybe there's mummy men.
Well, do you want to take your...
mummies.
I mean, look at this sprite for Simon. I mean, this is pretty... This leaves a lot to the imagination.
Should we both do Simon?
Do you think that would be fun? I mean, we could both try doing...
that would be fun. Let's both do a Simon.
All right.
Simon Says.
What if we turn this into a rock, paper, pencil? It's not like a competitive one, but like we kind of both hide each other's
drawings.
Yeah, we kind of react to each other's.
Are the viewers able to see it? I forget how your setup is.
Yeah, my setup is viewers can see both of ours, but if you hide your layer and I hide... Yeah. All right, let's set it up.
Did you put the Simon drawings on that you have on EN2? Put them on.
Yeah, that's what I was... Thank you. That's exactly what I was trying to do. I could not figure out which layer I had put those on. Perfect. Oh shit, hold on. Okay, hold on one sec. Now they're all on title. All of the references are on title. On title 2, we'll put the little borders for us. Which I'll just slice it down the middle. I'll hide your chaps layers and I'll start drawing on the Ian layers. We're good to go. All right, cool.
Ian, have you watched anything?
Well, we finished Wednesday about 40 minutes before this episode started.
How'd you feel about it? I've been wanting to watch it.
I like it. I think it's pretty cute. It's like a cute little show. It's got some nice drama sometimes. I feel like the last episode was like cool, like there's like a central mystery going on in the show. And
Our
you're never gonna
frozen.
Uh-oh. I know why. Thank you for reminding me. In the show, there's like a mystery that she's trying to solve, and it's not the kind of mystery show where you're gonna be able to...
the first episode?
Yeah, and it's a good start. Overall, I liked it. But it's not the kind of mystery you're gonna solve as a viewer. Like, you can't use any clues beforehand. She's kind of like, there's a lot of things where they're just like,
they don't give you the tools to just like crack the code if you're like very observant.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, that's just the type of show it is. I have no complaints about that. Each type of show like that has their own merit. I enjoyed this one overall. I'm excited for more. I think it was very well cast. I will say the final episode is where everything kind of comes to a head, but I feel like there's one episode leading up to it where like certain things feel just so rushed past. Like this one character dies, and then the character's kid is like giving information to the characters, just like, but they don't seem at all like affected by the death of their parent. Like a couple scenes ago, I would say, or last episode. And they just give this information that's expository, and then they're out of the show. They're not on the show anymore. It's fine.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's very strange. But like they were setting this character up, then like they were gonna become a more important character, because they start having these extra scenes. Then their parent dies, and then the character's just not in the show. They give one more scene where they like talk, and then they're gone. They're just not on the show anymore. And I was like, that was weird.
I like TV right now. I feel like it's like one of the better mediums for like telling stories, just because movies have kind of like gotten too expensive and to, like actually like I think movies is better like as a from like an from like a if you just break it down, because it's like simple, you know, a story can be told in 90 minutes, but because of what it costs to make a film and just the structure involved and everything right now, I think it's hard to get creative with movies and make things like risky and interesting stories. I feel like right now it's like there's like a maybe it will come back, but for the time being, it feels like the industry is kind of stuck making like superhero movies and reboots and
trying to make big
tentpole
films, trying to get those butts in and
like
like
get their money back. Which I get it. Like if you're gonna spend $500 million making a product, you gotta profit, or else there's just no like I don't know. It's just they've kind of like built the system has kind of built them into a corner. So TV right now is kind of the one that's able to do like weirder, more creative, more interesting to watch things. But what point was I gonna make now? The issue is that I think when you're writing like 10 like hours of a show, you tend to like I feel like sometimes they write things that end up never coming to fruition, and they just get left behind, like details, characters that are like they in the beginning episodes when they wrote it, they're like writing them chronologically, they're not going back, and like these characters were written to like have a lot of stuff they're going to do, and then they're like, oh, actually it'd be cool if they died at the scene, and then they're just like, so there's all these like loose ends and like things that don't amount to anything and weird like I feel like TV has struggles with that sometimes. Not every show, some feel a lot more buttoned up, but there's times that like you're like, well, okay, so nothing happened with that character, or that like thing that occurred, it never meant anything, it was just there as like foreshadowing that foreshadows nothing kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. And so yeah, there's just like certain that and like that's I think in this show one of the only times that I can think of that happening overall. There are some things that are sort of glossed over. They're just like, yeah, this happens, and they're like, okay, I guess I'm just supposed to understand that that's why this has been happening or something like that. But I think my biggest complaint is that the final episode, things are sort of coming together, and there are some scenes that happened towards the end of it where I feel like they were really trying to wring emotions out of it, and I was like, okay, but like the music's doing a lot right now. Like I felt like the music was trying so hard in the final episode. It was very strange. Like dramatic things were going on, and I was like, chill out, music. Like it was very strange. I don't know, the music felt like it was trying so hard to be like, cry, feel emotions, cry about this.
When a show is trying to make you feel something without putting in the legwork, like, no, here's the part where you're sad, and you're like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, or like, yeah, it was very strange. I feel like I feel like the music was trying to be like, basically, you really care about these characters and their friendships and their relationships. And I was like, I mean, I am invested, but like, calm down, music, calm down. Like, this is a lot. You're being very aggressive, music.
Feeling the level of sad you're trying to make me feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of what it was like.
Speaking of shows that do it right, I just watched the 3rd episode of Last of Us last night, that aired last night. Goddamn, what a great hour of television. That was a very good episode.
Interesting. It's interesting that that's like finally a video game show that's like done right, apparently, and like apparently
like it's so far.
From what I hear, it's just like, oh, they just did what happens in the game.
But this episode they did for the first 2 episodes, and then 3rd episode they wrote their own thing. And nailed it. And I think what happens in the video game is better for a video game, and what happened in the show is better for a show, if that makes sense.
No,
because video games have sequences crazy. Where you're like
I
fighting hordes and you're running through like booby traps and things, and it takes like a half hour for you to get to the next part of story.
Yeah,
that wouldn't make sense in a like in a actual story.
It's like in like Grand Theft Auto, like big things will be happening, and then you'll have to like stop because some mobster will be like, "Hey, you gotta go grab my groceries," and then that'll be like a 4 mission arc because like the groceries are owned by like the Yakuza or something like that, and you gotta go like. But in an actual movie, that would be such a fucking. That's like when in Sonic the Hedgehog 2, they go to that wedding and have that wedding, and then come back from that, and the wedding like meant nothing to the overall story.
I haven't seen the second one yet.
Weren't you there for us when we watched?
No.
No?
No, I showed up like in the last like 10 minutes, I think.
Oh my god. That was a weird movie, man. Such a weird movie.
But anyway, so Last of Us episode 3. It was I liked it a lot. It was great.
Cool. I'm excited to get around to watching it.
But it was like one of those things where it's like I've seen a lot of not the story itself, but I've seen a lot of comparisons to I mean, I guess it's not a spoiler to say people are going to die in the show, right? Because that's
what?
And also it's not different from the game. So if you played the games, there's no spoilers. I mean,
I just assume everyone dies.
The story in episode 3 is very different, but it's not like people that were, died in the game live in the show or whatever. Blah 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 blah. Either way, they did this thing that was very like up, where they're like, let's introduce some characters to you, and then by the end of the sequence, you're going to be so sad for them. But like it was. No. But like in a good way. Like it was great writing. I loved it. It was awesome.
Did they kind of do the thing like they do in Walking Dead, where like they have some characters, and then all of a sudden you really start to learn about this one character's backstory, and then you're just like, oh, that character's gonna die this episode.
So without going into spoilers, basically, in the original game, The Last of Us, there is a character you run into for one sequence of the game, and if you don't have to, but if you dig through like the lore around and like read some papers on the like tables and stuff like that, you learn about another character that would have been there or was like somebody that was there. And then this episode just fully goes into those two.
Oh, interesting.
In like
so it's like they took the lore from the game and expanded upon it.
Totally. They changed it a little bit too. It doesn't go the exact same route as the game.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you have to sometimes.
They changed it, but also like they dug into this like these characters that you basically lived on a piece of paper, and one of them anyways, and made like this whole the entire episode was basically dedicated to it. It was pretty awesome. I really loved it. So I think it's good that they're gonna. I think this episode was good because it's early in the series, so like they can be like, hey, sometimes we're gonna do our own thing, so get used to that.
Yeah.
As you know, a show should, because I don't want to just watch. I could just play the game again if I just want the same story.
Well, also because look, let's not make any bones about it. A lot of video games have a great structure for a story and a lot of great frameworks of characters who you're like, oh, cool. This is a cool character. This is a cool concept for a story. But the story itself is dumb and bad and not good, and the writing is terrible and the dialogue is pretty shit. So like that's where movies and TV and especially books shine, is they tend to have better. I mean, here's the thing: you can have good writing in a video game. That's why whenever you have even like remotely decent writing, people shit themselves and like fucking jump out of windows because of how good your writing in your video game is. If a video game ever had the amount of like the level of quality writing as like a really good movie, people would fucking not know what to do with themselves. Like people. Like some critics would like melt from having played the game. You know what I mean? So
everyone's expecting the worst. So when somebody does like a decent job, everybody's like, "Wow, holy shit!"
And just like the bar is so low for video games. So if someone's adapting a video game story to a different format and they're gonna rewrite something, as long as they're like true to maybe the overall like vibe and heart of what's at the video game, they can change things up because they have all of the I'm sure ability to improve upon the video game, because a lot of the video game story is just like My family, I lost them to the great war with the thingy things. These crazy creatures with the glowy red things in the chest. If you shoot them, they explode. You know, like it's always,
Yeah.
it's always a story that's tweaked a little bit because it has to be a video game, you know?
Yeah.
So if they can like alter things for the sake of making it a story, it's fine. I'm okay with that. As long as their Halo is still a big ring, because the Halo show is terrible and they didn't do anything right. They didn't do what Halo, because yeah, if the Last of Us show can remain true to the heart of the story and the things that make, because you can pretty easily identify what makes a story special, or like what people like about stories and properties and things like that. So just have a modicum of respect for the source material and improve where you can.
They do. I mean, it feels very like this was the first thing I think they've done that wasn't like fully right on script, you know?
Yeah.
But it was great. I really loved it. It was a really good episode. It was, and you know, I think the reason I brought it up is because we were talking about a show trying to make you feel something but not putting in the work. This, in 1 hour, they made you feel a lot. You know, me and Morgan were both like getting all choked up watching this episode of this mushroom zombie show.
And here's the thing about Wednesday is they did put in the work to get emotions out of you. I just feel like even like still, like this was this big emotional climax, etc., but even still I felt like the music was going too hard. I was like, calm down, music.
You haven't earned.
No, they were saying they had. I'm at the point, like they're at the point in the series where like they've earned something, but like it's so aggressive. It's so aggressive. Like I'm not gonna feel like this is too aggressively feeling this emotion compared to like what the scene's going for. Like the scene's going for a different sort of vibe, and the music's just, yeah, I don't know. It was so intense. Like wow.
Issues with my kind of what you were saying last week. Like my pen is not doing the pressure sensor.
Sometimes it helps if I turn my monitor off and back on. I find that helps. In fact, my pen's doing good right now. Because I found that with my Cintiq, if there's some situations where it will act like a strip on the bottom and the top are like dead zones.
Yeah, I've had that.
So if I restart my monitor, I found, just like turn it off and on with the button in the back, I found that fixes everything right up.
Gotcha. Additionally, not to be too spoilery, but one of the main is like two characters like doing this great performance for this whole episode, and it was like a kind of like a bottle episode, I think, kind of like there's these characters that like they go into this backstory basically, and they're only going to be in this one episode type of thing.
Yeah.
But one of the characters was Nick Offerman, out here trying to win an Emmy because he killed it. He was awesome.
Nice. He's a good actor. Yeah, like here's the thing is before Parks and Rec, I've seen him in like a couple of dramatic roles. He was doing like bit parts here and there, like and usually like pretty serious, like emotional ones. I know he plays this character in this movie called Wrist Cutters, A Love Story, which is this movie where a guy slits his wrists and kills himself, and he goes to like this afterlife for people who commit suicide. And then like he goes on like, and it's like basically it's like basically the same as Earth, but it's a lot more empty, and everything's just worse. like faucets run less well, cars don't run as well, cars are more junky, you know, everything's just like a little worse. But Nick Offerman's a guy who like was in the Vietnam War and just kills himself. And he plays like a cop in this afterlife. And it's a very interesting movie. I enjoyed it as a movie. It ends weird. It gets very strange during this one arc that kind of just happens out of nowhere in the middle of it. It's basically a big Sonic 2 wedding in this movie.
I don't understand the reference.
But yeah, Nick Offerman's in that, and he's decent in it. I mean, he doesn't get too much. He doesn't really get a chance to work the scene, but you know, he does what he can. He brings what he can to it.
Gotcha. Yeah, he was great in this. It was a great hour TV. Check it out.
Last of Us 2, folks.
It's gonna make you feel. Not just Last of Us. They haven't got to 2 yet.
Last of Us 2 on TV, folks. There you go.
I'm sure they'll get to Last of Us 2 at some point, right? Like they'll probably make that too.
Oh, for sure.
How's your? I like it.
How's your Simon going, by the way?
Good. I just started the line work kind of, and I'm like done his head. Ish. How about you?
I spent way too long on the head. And I'm not super satisfied with it, but I'm just trying to have fun with it now. But
cool. Sounds like we're kind of at the same spot.
Yeah, I drew a little skelly. I'm just kind of doing the body now and the line work and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
I also kind of did like an underdrawing this time. I don't always do.
Yeah, I mean, not on this show, but I always do it in real life. I don't always do it
I always do it
underdrawing.
in real life, but on this show I don't usually do it.
Yeah.
Just because I'm trying to move quicker.
Pick up the pace.
Yeah.
Well, I work best.
And also
with
sometimes I love an underdrawing, but sometimes just going fast like gets you some fun results because you're just like, oh
yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't have expected myself to do that, and I drew this fun thing because I was just like going with it on the fly.
Yeah. It's weird. On this show, when I'm trying to go fast and work on the fly, I don't end up making results that I'm like super happy with. But like when I'm playing like Gartic Phone or Jackbox or something like that, I'm like I do a great job.
So you're definitely capable. It's just got to be something like in your head about like
yeah, it's 100% a mental block.
In front of an audience or something.
I think it's I don't know. I have a hard sometimes like. I tend to get mentally blocked in art in general, like with my drawings and stuff like that. I go through like phases. I'm trying to work past it and like figure out what's that about.
I'm that way too. I feel like it's very easy for me to like. I don't know. There's certain areas where I like struggle. Likenesses, I'm getting a lot better. But I tend to get too bogged down in trying to make something look like it should, so then it no longer looks like my style that they hired me for at all.
Right, you feel like you've sort of created a whole new...
Getting better, but I just like keep tweaking it, trying to get it like more like the photo, where at the end it's like, this looks nothing like my drawing style, which is why they hired me, so I should not do that.
That one's tough, and what's interesting is anytime I do likenesses outside of this show, I don't like them, but anytime I do a likeness on this show, I've ended up being pretty happy with it for the most part.
Yeah, I've done some good ones on the show, but that may also have something to do with just doing it quick,
yeah,
you know, because I try to go quick on here. So
I do find with likenesses,
the longer I try to like get lost in the sauce, it like loses any kind of like, I don't know, character it had from my style. Yeah.
I also find with likenesses, and I mean, I'm sure you apply this to when you do likenesses, I try to, like if I'm drawing a person, I try to think about if I had to start describing the person to somebody, like what would I start with? And
I mean, that's very true. Like, not necessarily like, I've never thought about it in those words, but it's very true about like, I look for like defining features, which is the same idea.
Exactly, yeah. It's finding the landmarks, finding the things like, you could put like a mouth or like especially like with after COVID, like you can like, you know, you can imagine everybody with a fucking mask on, and it's like, you know, a lot of people you can still recognize. I could recognize you through a mask, you know, like a little little mouth mask. And I think it's about, you know, that's a lot to do with familiarity, but I think, you know, knowing.
Think of it like a caricature artist, like they pick certain details, like, oh, they have a weird nose or something, like, and you don't necessarily have to go as like crazy as they do, but like
you don't gotta
the
put
same
them in a go-kart.
Like, you have to put a little hat with a spinny propeller on top.
Yeah,
you have to. But basically they're just like looking at the face and they'll be like, all right, what sets you apart from the 1,000 other people I've drawn today?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I try to do that. Because a lot of us, what we look like is just like bland and basic, and we look like everybody else. But then we all have certain little details that set us apart. And that's what you got to hone in on.
That's and like, I'm very happy with the caricatures I did of all of us, and they're barely caricatures, but I like how they look because
that's some of my favorite likenesses you've done. I just think 'cause they're just like very like simple, but they capture everything you need to capture.
Yeah, I don't know how I managed to get into that flow state, but I'm very happy with the end result of those.
Yeah, sometimes I nail it, and other times I struggle a lot. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I have a hard time with anatomy, just like getting a body in proportion, or like just standing in a pose, like just standing in a pose where I'm just like, that looks natural, you know? Yeah. And sometimes I'm having a better time at it than others, and obviously it helps to do figure studies to kind of improve in that aspect. But it's something that still, I feel like I get, like, it's not something that I always have trouble with, but it's the kind of thing where I can easily get hung up on it and get the yips, you know, and get myself into a mental state where I'm like fucking having a struggle with anatomy because I got myself into that mental block of like,
It's a hard thing to get out of. When you're like drawing and it's not like working, it's hard to just be like, all right, push past this. Like, I was working on some critters for the critter cam today, and there's like things that were working but things that weren't, and then I'm just like, I just need to like put this away for now and do something, work on something else, because it's just not happening.
The most frustrating thing I've experienced is, and I was pretty high when this happened, I was working on some art, and I was struggling trying to figure out how to draw something at this one angle so bad. Frustrated. So I was sober at this point, and so I go and I smoke, and I'm like, whatever, let me find some YouTube videos to queue up while I figure out this shit out. And I queue up the YouTube videos, and then because I'm high, as I'm queuing up the YouTube videos, I forget what it was I was struggling with, you know, in the drawing. And so I get the YouTube videos queued up.
For hours.
No, I didn't watch, but I like took a minute to like get all, like go to my subscription feed, middle clicking on all these videos. Oh, that one's interesting. I should probably watch that one before the other ones, because that one I'm super intrigued by. Okay, let me do this. Select all the tabs, pin the tabs. Okay, where's that video I wanted? All right, and I go back to the drawing, having forgotten sort of exactly what it was I was struggling with, and I start drawing. And then I realize a minute later, wait, I was struggling figuring out how to draw that foot. What did I and then I look and I just drawn it and hadn't thought about it. Like, I literally, once I forgot that I was struggling with it, I alt tabbed back into my art program. I drew the fucking thing without thinking about it and moved on. And that's so frustrating.
You have to. That's a lot of times why I quit. I'm not quitting permanently. I'm not saying like I'm gonna throw this drawing in the trash. I'm saying like when I come back tomorrow, or in a few hours, it's gonna be easy because I'm in some weird funk at the moment. I just need to like get out. I need to step away for a second. Basically.
It's the
same idea.
People think that drawing is just a matter of telling your wrist the right way to go. Like if your wrist does the right motions, you're good. And it's like, no. It's such a mental game you're playing with yourself, trying to be creative. It's your brain is constant. Like, you can watch something and think of all the things they do wrong and do right, and you know, in your head come up with the best possible variation of what you've just watched. But the moment you sit down and try and create something, your brain's gonna start throwing all these obstacles at you, like, now you can't look at things from the big picture. You're looking at it from all these close-ups that obscure the full vision, and you're just having, it's so frustrating.
I also think most artists have like a mental like library of what something looks like.
Yes.
And yes, you look up references, but also like as you're just like, it's more simple than that. Looking at like shadows and things like that you can't reference necessarily. You can somewhat, but not for everything you're doing.
Right.
And so like sometimes accessing that is harder than other times. Like
That's true.
This like I'm trying to draw a thing and it's just not looking the way it should look. And you're just accessing like basically like you've practiced it 100 times, and you're trying to like think how something should look from this angle, as you're like creating it out of nothing. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's just like sometimes that comes easier than others. Yeah,
sometimes you got a better lock on it, and sometimes you don't, and you know that can play with you. It really is like some days you're gonna have a better time than others, but the best way to ensure you're gonna have a good drawing day is you practice drawing every day. I know. It sounds so stereotypical to say. It sounds so stereotypical to say, but compared like I have felt the difference where like I start trying to draw something and I struggle so much, and then like I keep drawing for like every day that week, and then like the third day I start drawing and I'm just like, wow, I'm drawing the same thing I was drawing on Monday, but I'm not having any problems now. It's because I've been practicing all week. It's like the best way to keep you ready. But sometimes
real thing, and I don't draw as much as I used to, and I've been trying this year to draw more, and I have been
good,
and I already can feel the difference, but it makes a big difference.
Someday I'm gonna get really good at drawing feet, like in shoes, like feet inside of boots or shoes.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm good or not.
Sometimes I do.
Drawing cartoon feet.
I'm like at a 30-70 ratio right now, where 30% of the time I feel like I knock it out of the park, and then 70% of the time it looks like an amorphous blob for a bottom, like a thing off of a leg. But I'm trying to improve that ratio. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I do. I struggle with hands and feet as well. I've had people tell me like, "No, your hands are great," and I'm like, I don't think so.
Yeah, for a non-artist.
Like hands to me. maybe the fact that I'm like so hyper fixated on them is why I think they're better now. I just don't.
It's possible, yeah. I think definitely hyper fixating on like, these aspects.
In art school, I've had people be like, "No, I think your hands are good," and I'm like, I don't think you're right. Have you ever received a good critique and you're like, "No"?
Excuse me, I disagree.
I'm bad.
I think this is shit. Yeah, no, I've received that.
Do that a lot.
Yeah. I've received that for sure.
Taste? You like my work? Oh, you must be an idiot.
Yeah. Oh, you think I'm good? Now I don't respect your opinion anymore. I'm almost done. I just gotta color this, and it's gonna be a quick job.
I'm also right to the coloring phase now. I just finished my last line.
Wow, we're like pace for pace with each other.
All right.
Wow.
Gotta use the actual colors as my palette to some degree. He's very orange, so I'm not going to fully use it. But...
I've been playing Psychonauts, as I've said. Have we talked about Psychonauts at all, aside from me just mentioning it, or?
We talked about the 3D aspects of it and how it's a little chunky, but you've been enjoying it a lot. But we haven't talked about the actual game itself.
Oh, it's good.
Oh, now we have.
Next topic. It holds up very well.
The story and stuff? Is it pretty entertaining?
It holds up
well. I remembered about it.
It's definitely. I mean, it's a shame it was never made into like a cartoon, but also, you know, I think it's fine the way it is, just telling its own story. Was that something that was
potentially going to happen?
I don't know, but it just feels like it would fit very well into that. Yeah. It feels like watching a Saturday morning cartoon.
They wrote it like one, definitely. I agree with you on that.
Yeah. But when I think about it, I'm just like, it doesn't need to be a cartoon. It's already its thing. It's its video game.
It's a cartoon you get to play.
Yeah. I will say sometimes the cutscene, like at least in the very, very beginning, I was like, damn, these cutscenes are taking a little long here. I was like, I'm ready to play the game. But I get it. They were introducing the story, but I see moments.
I don't mind super long cutscenes if it feels like good, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I felt like I could have, if I were editing the story, I feel like a couple of moments I would have made more concise.
Got it.
But that's about it. It's great. Otherwise, I love the characters. I love the story. I love the vibe. It's good stuff.
Nice.
Voice acting's great.
I watched a lot of you. You were playing it a lot today.
Yes.
On your channel, which is Top Gat Yo, correct?
Correct.
And then, so follow that if you haven't already. But who we kidding? Everybody here is already subscribed. Follow you over there. But I was watching that today while working on stuff. It was good. It looks fun. I never played the full game. I just played bits and pieces.
Yeah, I had a demo, like, because I used to get those demo discs way back in the day when I was a lad. I would get those demo discs from Official PlayStation Magazine, OPM, and I remember playing.
Demo discs I would like those demo discs. Might as well have bought a game. Like I would play hours of the demo disc.
For sure. And I would replay the demos, and some demos were more like willing to let you try the goods than others.
I'd have friends over, and we'd be like, "Let's play this demo disc. There's some really good ones on here." Like that's shit. Because I didn't have the actual game.
I remember it being like fucking nuts when like the Ratchet and Clank, I want to say it was Up Your Arsenal, came out, and the demo for that one didn't have a time gate, because a lot of demos would let you play for like 10 minutes and then they would like go back to the menu and you're like, no. But this one gave you a full level to play in, plus an arena to try out your guns in, and there was no time limit. And I was like, what is this? This demo is so good. And yeah, and just playing a lot of crazy. Anyways, I played a demo for Psychonauts off of those discs. It was basically just like the basic braining obstacle course level. But I never played past that.
They call it.
What was that?
That's what they call it, braining.
Yeah, basic braining. So I never played more than that. So this is my first time actually like really diving into the game, and I'm having a good time.
I bought it like a decade ago. I still
same. If I could probably tell you when I bought the game, and it's like a long time ago. Let's see here.
I want to like kind of mimic colors in the sprite, but at the same time, it's like if I do that, then he's going to be all the same color.
Yeah.
I'll vary. Some variation.
Let's see, how do I find out when I bought it? You can usually find a quick details. They should have an easier way to find this info.
I recently got
oh, well.
Steam Deck, as you know.
Yes, I do.
And I've been trying to think of like games that are like, games I've wanted to play and wanted to beat, and like games I enjoy, but I just didn't feel like sitting at my desk to play them, you know? Like, I know that sounds so niche, but like, it's a very real thing for me. There's certain games that are like, they just don't sound good in that setting.
Fair.
So I'm trying to figure out what those are. I think I'm gonna like play through the Final Fantasy VII remake. I feel like that's one that would be good on like a handheld, because like turn-based and shit. And like,
yeah, I see that.
I don't feel like sitting.
Maybe like more strategic ones, like if you have any like poly bridges or bridge constructors.
Sure, yeah, like a lot of indie games feel really good on it.
I just beat The Witness recently, so if you want to try and like get on my level.
You were playing The Watcher.
The Looker.
The Looker. How was that?
It was so funny.
I saw Donkey play it once, and it seemed really funny.
It was great. You kind of know what the vibe is of the game if you've seen Donkey. It only lasts an hour and it's free, but it's funny because it's an hour long and it's just a big dick joke at the end. It's all a big hour-long dick joke.
That's great.
Yeah, it's an hour-long dick joke essentially, making fun of very specifically The Witness.
Yeah. I never beat The Witness because I am a smooth brain. I'm not as smart as you. You can send me the $20 after the show for saying that, like you asked me to.
Yeah. I still owe you money for Royal Rumble. But are you like $3 or something like that? Or 4, 5? I don't remember.
Just
how much.
give it to Matt instead.
Okay. Well, I okay. But yeah, I talked to Sean about this, and he actually had the same issue I had, and it was I would always start the game, and then I would get out into the open world, and I'd find some puzzles, and I would not know what game mechanic meant to like solve them, and I didn't know where to go to find out where the learn the game mechanics, and then I would get frustrated and I would quit. So this time I finally sat down and I was just like, okay, well if I'm gonna go to like from spot to spot, learn the mechanics, really get the hang of the game, and I did, and I stuck with it, and I finally figured everything out. It turns out some spots are really tricksy and mean, like with what they expect you to do.
I played, when I say a good amount, I don't mean like, I don't know how long the game is, but I played more than a few hours.
It takes a while.
And I solved a lot of puzzles.
Same.
But I got to like points where I was just like, all right, this puzzle's too hard. I don't know. I can't figure it out. And I just gave up, I think.
I would just frequently not know what the fuck some of these like I got to this one, and this one was, I was just like, are you shitting me? And I was like trying to figure it out. I was like, okay, from past experience,
Did you do it all on your own, or did you look up any answers?
I looked up the guide very specifically if like I was trying a puzzle for so long and I knew what I was supposed to be doing, but I couldn't find like the solution. But like as long as
my time to reach for a guide is when I'm like, this game is not fun at the moment, because ultimately games for me are meant to be fun, and I'm not going to be mad if I have to cheat to make it fun again.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, I'm not going to look back and be like, well, yeah, you beat it, but you cheated. I'm like, yeah, well, I was not having fun, so I needed to change that.
I cheated to have fun.
That's when it becomes okay for me.
But generally, I wouldn't look up the guide unless I at least knew what I was supposed to be doing mechanics-wise, because that's the important part, is the game is very much into teaching you the mechanics through example, but by just having you learn it through the like puzzles. So like, but like, there was a couple of puzzles and once I figured them out, I was just like, oh, you dastardly son of a bitch.
You dirty dog.
Like, there's this temple in the sand out in this desert, and there's these like red tiles with like octagonal or hexagonal puzzles, and I was just like, what the fuck? Where do I go? And I thought about it, and I was just like, whatever it is that's going to help me solve these puzzles has to be here. Because there's no items to pick up that like get you access to more puzzles. You just have to solve the puzzles. So I was like, okay, so something's got to be in this area to help me solve this puzzle. And so then I'm like looking, and I catch one of the like puzzles, and the sun is reflecting off of it, and then I see that you're supposed to get the sun reflecting off of the puzzles because the like solution has been like scratched. It's like somebody did the solution so many times that it's like scratched into the thing.
I think I did that one. I think I accomplished that one. If it sounds familiar, maybe they did that more than once, but
oh, they do it a bunch. Well, they do it, but like it's, you start doing that one and then it opens up more of those types of puzzles. But yeah,
got it.
When I figured that out, I was just like, you son of a bitch. And
something
that
satisfying about solving that, but
yeah,
on your,
that was satisfying. And then there was one where I was just like, these hedge mazes, and I was like, once I figured out it was the hedge maze, you're supposed to like walk through the hedge mazes to solve the maze that you read in the beginning. I was like, ah, very clever, very clever. And then the third of those hedge mazes, I just could not for the life of, like, the first one is you just solve the hedge maze walking through it. You just solve the puzzle. Second one is you have to solve the hedge mazes by walking specifically where there is grass, because the grass tells you it forms a pathway of the correct way to go. And I was like, okay, I'm pretty smart. I got that. And then the third one, I was just like, what the fuck? I don't know what. And then that's when I looked it up, and but like the puzzle answer, I tried to look up hints instead of the solution. And the one was just like, listen. And I was like, okay. And then as I was walking, I realized, oh, the footsteps Well, at first I was listening for like any sort of like hum, like if I went the right pathway, maybe it was humming or something like that, but no, nothing. And then I realized the footsteps, if you sound like you're walking on grass, that's the right pathway. And if it sounds like you're walking on gravel, that's the wrong pathway. And I was like, that's so annoying.
Yeah. You never told me I had to have the sound on to win this game.
What about deaf people? How are they going to solve your game, Jonathan Blow?
They don't get to play.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So yeah, so that was annoying.
Well, you beat it though.
I beat it.
Is the story. Right?
I didn't beat all of it. I didn't solve all of it, but I solved most of it. And I solved some puzzles. I was really proud of how I solved them. I felt sometimes I really fucking pulled some brain moves and was happy with myself.
You're a big brain fella.
I like to solve puzzles. What can I say?
We played that one Puzzle Academy game on the stream for like a second, and that was fun. I liked that it was like co-op puzzle solving.
Yeah.
There needs to be more games like that.
I thought it was really intriguing how we both see each other's screens, because that made coordinating. Yeah. At first, it was like a little bit to work with, but then it made coordinating so much easier. Not because like
it was
I
needed.
think I don't think it was needed. I think we would have managed to solve those puzzles if we had to just like say things to each other, but it removed at least a lot of complication that would come with like us having to coordinate saying things to each
You're able
other.
to collect the information from the other person without having to like fully like take notes.
Exactly, yeah. And you could like, one person could hold something up that you could look at as a reference as you like were putting in a combination or something like that. So it wasn't like a situation of like, okay, read me the numbers now. It was just like, okay, just hold up the numbers and I can put the shit in.
How's your drawing coming along?
I'm just doing the colors and finishing up and we're almost done.
I'm almost done with my colors.
But yeah, I would like for more. I think I saw some friends playing a game. It was called like Escape Room Simulator or something like that. And I was like, man, we played Escape Room the Academy and that was a good time. And I think they're making a sequel.
Oh, good. What else have I've been playing Half-Life 2 in VR on the stream.
Have we finished that yet, or you still have the last couple levels to go?
I haven't played it in like a week. I was gonna play it today, but I just was working on stuff all day and I didn't have a chance. Maybe I'll do it after the show or something. I don't know. What are you up to after the show?
Chilling. I mean, usually you
on screen.
No, it's okay. I'm chilling. I might get some work done. If you're gonna hang out with the wife, as you tend to do, I might stream some more Psychonauts. I don't know.
Nah, I'm sick of her.
Yeah, fuck her, man.
I don't know what the plans are, but yeah, maybe I'll be around, maybe I won't be, I don't know, but yeah, I've been wanting to stream. I'll definitely, I think, do it tomorrow.
All right.
I wanted to do it today, but I had some stuff I had to finish up, and I finished a few jobs today, so a little more freed up now. But.
Nice.
Yeah.
But
I've been wanting to finish it. I'm probably close.
I have one job that I've been finishing up, and then I don't have any jobs lined up at the moment after that. But I sent that in. The reason I've been playing the Psychonauts instead of working is I sent that in for review. And I'm waiting on word back on like if they like how things are going so far, or if I need to like change course.
You gotta take these times to like relax in between jobs, or else you burn out.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've been taking this moment to like, when I'm in the middle of a job, I think like, oh, I should really practice this, and then I'm like, but no, work must be done on the job. So, you know, this sort of break between jobs is my opportunity to put some applications in, and also, you know, practice some things that without having like the guilt of, oh, you should be working on this job instead. Instead, it'll just be the guilt of, oh, you should be making more money, which is always there.
I think overall, we all individually know if we're doing enough or not. And I'm tired of to try and defend myself to everybody else.
Yeah. Damn it, I'm gonna play a game once in a while.
Do your thing. You know if you should be playing that game or not, and sometimes you gotta do things you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
You know? Live your life.
If I want to beat Psychonauts in 2 days, damn it, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
And collect everything.
Oh, you're going like full completionist mode.
I have been going full completionist mode. I have not collected anything yet so far.
That's
as
the
like
challenge.
Yeah. You can ask Austin. It's probably quite frustrating for him.
He's not a completionist.
Well, he's been watching. Like I streamed it because he's been egging me on to stream Psychonauts for at least like 2 years. I want to say. So I'm finally streaming it, and then like for the first 4 hours, it was me not even going in any levels, just like exploring the main hub, looking for like the little floaty card collectibles, going like, where are they at? Where are they at? Oh, gotta get you. So.
You're taking years off Austin's life.
Austin like was suddenly begging me to play some levels. He's like, look, man, you'll get abilities. Just play the levels, man. Just play the levels.
We're so close.
If you play the levels, you'll get the high jump.
Crazy Kyle says, I'm not Googling shit for you. And that's a callback to when I was playing Half-Life and I was like trying to solve a puzzle and I'm like, hey, Kyle, you're in the chat. Solve this for me. He just did not. He like, I think subbed with the comment of, I'm not Googling things for you. I'm just like, all right, fine.
Well,
which is fair.
It is fair.
I shouldn't use the chat as a tool. They're there for entertainment, not to work.
I see so many streamers. Like I watch Bishu's streams sometimes, and he does like, he makes music, and he got popular by making fake genres of music. So he'll make like one time he made what was it called? ADHDMB. Which was like just really scattered and like aggressive drums and bass music that just like kind of keeps changing up. ADHDMB, yeah. But on his stream, what was I trying to say in the first place? Fuck, I've lost track. Oh no, on the stream he'll just like be making music and people will just like send him samples of them playing the guitar that like fits with his song, and he'll be like, all right, sweet, I'll put this in the song and like help him make his song for him. And I'm just like, wow, having like that chat popping like that just makes your life easy, because you're just like, oh, I need to make this song. Oh, thanks for making a stem for me.
Yeah, that's awesome if you have it kind of working out like that.
Just have our chat be
Hey, to be
Googling
fair,
shit
I
for
didn't
us.
know what to Google, and eventually I found that there was just a ladder you missed somewhere. Yeah, I actually respect you for not telling me, but also, yeah, there was just a ladder next to me that I didn't see. Ended up being the problem. So I deserved all the shame and pain that I felt.
Ladder.
I looked around for ladder.
That's okay. This one time, I remember this quite vividly. This was back in high school days. Austin was hanging out at my house. We were playing Half-Life 2 mods. Like I downloaded a bunch of, like, people would make custom levels that you could play just like Half-Life 2.
Do a lot of that stuff with different games.
Yeah. So we played this level pack that was just like a whole bunch of Ravenholm levels. We're like, cool, let's play more spooky Ravenholm. And so we got to this level, and we spent 2 hours in this fucking level. Just like we got through it, and we were like, this is fun. Wait, where do we go? Where the fuck are we supposed to go? And we searched for like an hour and a half after having like killed every enemy in the level for where we were supposed to go in this level. And then eventually we just like go into like this tiny little corner or something like that, and that was like where you're supposed to go. Is like this tiny little doorway, like that doesn't even like stick out or anything like that. We were just like, are you fucking shitting me? It was just this tiny like closet, and that was
At that point you're like, I'm dumb, but also like, if I can't find it, then bad game design.
Yeah, that was bad. Definitely on the developer's fault. So yeah.
What did you play a lot of? Okay, so you just were telling me an example of a time you did, but did you play a lot of like modded games as a kid? Because in my experience, I had like 2 games I could play because you can't go to the store and buy new games.
Yeah.
So you were just trying to like get the most bang for your buck. And if so, what games did you mod a lot of, or what was like one game that you like, you know, twisted and stretched as far as you could to like get something out of it?
I would definitely.
I have a couple that I can think about where I'm just like, man, like I got hundreds of hours from that game beyond what was actually like created.
I can say 2. One was Half-Life 2. Modded the shit out of Half-Life 2. Downloaded a bunch of Half-Life 2 mods. Gary's mod was a big gateway into all of that as well. But I modded it beyond that, of course. And then the other game was StarCraft. I modded this. I played a lot of StarCraft, wow. And I played and modded a lot of StarCraft, and I played a lot of modded StarCraft.
Wow.
Wow. And it was a little bit easier in StarCraft because you didn't always have to download like mods off. I did download a modded map pack creator, so that allowed, because I tried my hand at making maps in StarCraft, which required like their own brand of like coding or whatever.
Right.
That was like a little bit easier to use than coding. It was just like using events, but like as triggers and things like that. And people did very impressive things with them. But I modded, I tried downloading that to like make fancy maps or custom maps for StarCraft, but you could play other people's fancy custom maps for StarCraft. So I played hours and hours and hours of those. People would make like miniature RPGs inside of StarCraft. People would make like don't touch the so-and-so, like dodge these things, like by having like the ships. They would make like the airplane things like fly back and forth, and if they flew over your character that you were controlling, it would die. And so they would make like a little obstacle course dodge 'em ups. They would make like MOBAs. Like if you think about like Dota and things like that, those all originated from people just modding StarCraft 2 or StarCraft maps, but even more to a larger extent, Warcraft 3 had a more robust system, sort of like how StarCraft had, just like more advanced in 3-dimensional graphics. So yeah, so StarCraft and Half-Life 2, to answer your question, are the ones I did the most of. Yeah.
The one that I remember digging into the most, it was when I was younger, so it was like a little, maybe it was around the same time, maybe it's a little bit before that, but Star Wars Dark Forces 2 had a gigantic modding community.
Interesting.
There was like, people made the craziest maps, like giant maps, like people would make them, and like they'd be like super detailed in this like huge world, and like mods and all sorts of things where it would change the game dramatically. And on top of that, there was like this was back in the 56K days, but there was like on MSN had a website that was called The Zone, and you could play multiplayer on there. Like over 56K. Like there'd be like rooms, and you just join them and you can just play with strangers, which I don't know how that works.
Interesting.
With like a phone basically like touch tone noises. That's how you connect to the internet. But you could play in like real time, and like there are these crazy like mods, and it just worked because it was like they hadn't figured out like everything was like, if it was client side, it was in the game, which is like obviously it was very like a quick way to like hack the game and like break it. But like if you could just put the files in a folder, and suddenly you'd like have the stuff in the game, and it would just like be for everybody, which is just like weird and like game breaking.
Yeah. So
it's very easy to grief people too, which is something I did a lot of as well at the time. But it was just a game I played the hell out of. And it's just, I don't know. That game itself is like fine.
Yeah.
But like after all the stuff we added to it, we played a ton of it.
It's interesting how much value people will add to like these games just for free, just out of the kindness of their own heart, and they're wanting to see it happen in the game. By the way, my Simon is ready.
Mine's ready as well.
All right, let's do this. Babies. 3, 2, 1, go. I like it. Yeah.
I like your Simon.
Yours is
feels like a. You guys feel your Simon feels like a Saturday morning cartoon Simon.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going for. Cause like what I did, like, so here's what happened. I feel like you, the most interpreted the sprites into your own. You were like, okay, I'm taking what the sprite is offering me, and I'm gonna reconfigure it into something that I think looks good. I tried to take the literal sprite and just, cause like he's got that weird triangle thing going on. He seems to have these fucking things going on his waist.
Oh, it is like a triangle in the front. I saw it as like a. I tried to like keep it true with like the very little information I got, but you're right. He does have little lines on his shorts. You're right. I didn't see that.
Yeah. So I tried to just take as most the literal interpretation of the sprite as I could. I feel like you took the sprite at its essence and sort of gave it a better aesthetic do-over, you know?
I mean, if you really look at the details of the character, we did a lot of similar things.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to go too off.
No, you were pretty close to the model.
But you're right. I saw that little triangle thing, and in my head, I saw it as like a pelt. A pelt.
I see that,
it is, but yours like... feels very more like a Star Trek. Like you land like a Star Trek character. Like we land on this planet, and there's all these guys that are dressed like.
He looks 100% like a Star Trek character on like the like leader of the planet that they land on. He's like, hello, yes, welcome. All of our women are computers, and all of the men wear these things. You know?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Your character is the 80s movie version of that sprite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And yours is the like 70s TV show.
Exactly.
Or 60s TV show.
Exactly.
I like it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That was a fun thing. We'll have to do more of those.
Yeah, I agree. That was good. We should do that. Reoccurring segment. 8-bit to not shit. What would we call this bit? What would we call it?
I mean, I don't think 8-bit is shit.
No, I don't think so either.
It feels insulting.
That's why I didn't like it, and I want to workshop it.
I don't know. I don't have something locked and loaded.
Hold on. Let me think about this.
Zone Dog says Trekylvania. Not for the segment, but
yeah. From Sprite to alright.
You always like write a jingle, but then you don't actually write the jingle. Like you have the capabilities.
I know. I've made Matt jingles for his podcast.
You could be making songs for every part of our show.
Yeah, but
his whip is purple. Why didn't I not color it purple?
Oh, you're right.
What a waste.
From low res to resurrected.
Low res to the bez.
Low resurrection. How about that?
Doesn't matter what I'm drawing. I can't help but make them look like a little dopey. Like I give them a pot belly for no reason. Like I just can't help it.
You're humanizing the characters though. I try to go for
everybody
like
looks like friggin' Brad Pitt in Fight Club. No,
I try to give him Brad Pitt physique. Guy. I try to give my guy Brad Pitt physique. Yeah, Brad Pitt.
Who's your favorite character in Fight Club?
Oh my God, Brad Pitt, but also Edward is pretty good too. I like Brad Pitt and Bullet Train. Brandon, do you have anything you want to plug?
Yeah. I'm ending it all after this episode. Ending it all.
Content warning to everybody for our entire show, honestly.
Nah, I'm not ending it all. I love it.
Oh.
I love it all.
Love it.
No, I don't have anything to plug this week. Besides DrawBomb and the YouTube channel. A lot of quality content over there. Wow, we are really rising through the ranks as far as like subscribers and things go. So don't you want to be part of that? Don't you want to get in
right
now when so you could say like I was there when in the beginning?
Get in.
You don't want to be
on the ground
be
floor.
a hipster. Yeah.
Be there before
you can brag about this later.
Yeah. If your comments are on like our early videos and it says like 8 years ago, people are gonna be like, "Holy shit, dude!"
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You've got. We're giving you the job.
Oh my god.
You scoured the internet and you're hired.
You're so hard.
I'm gonna hide your layer with your sketch lines. There we go.
Yeah. Oh, you should look at my skeleton. I was pretty happy with how my skeleton came out.
Bro, you got a nice skeleton. Oh yeah, look at that pelvis. You even gave him teeth. You drew teeth in.
Oh yeah, cause I've been trying to draw skulls instead of like a Loomis head, cause I heard that it kind of gives you a more. I mean, it helps to have an actual skull underneath instead of a Loomis head, and I'm like, yeah, I can see that.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So I've been trying that.
Good work. Great work.
Good stuff. Good show.
I think I erased my skeleton, but I had one.
Oh man. But folks, thank you everyone for being here. Do we have anything else to say before we sign off?
Thanks for watching. Well, actually, I didn't ask you if you have anything for you to plug.
Oh, I don't think. I can't think of anything.
Brad Pitt?
Brad Pitt's movie. We came out with Critter Cam 2 recently. You can check that out. It's on the websites.
It's really good. It's like my favorite of the Critter Cam's videos. I mean, there's only 2. But...
There's only 2 of them so far, so.
As far as...
You don't know. 3 could be a banger.
That's true. And it might be. But for now, 2 is the best. Thanks, Zone Dog. Thanks, Crazy Kyle, Liz Zay, Leviathan Den. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing.
Thank you all.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate. With that, I guess we will go. Do you have anything like super offensive that will get us canceled that you want to say before we sign off?
Yeah, I did want to say.
Wow. On that note, I also just want to plug DrawBomb. We do DrawBomb. We plugged that next Monday 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And all right, goodbye. As we fade out, just say some offensive stuff. Yeah. Okay. Bye. Wow. Oh my God.